Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about TOEFL preparation plan. So as you know, I've passed TOEFL in 2015 and I scored 117 out of 120. And if you still haven't seen the videos about the methods that I've used, about how the TOEFL experience went, please click the links below and make sure you watch this video. Also, please subscribe to my channel because I talk a lot about getting into foreign universities, learning English and achieving your goals, and I think it will be really interesting for you, and I guarantee I will release a lot of nice videos. Today I'm filming mostly for those people who realize they would need to pass TOEFL but who don't know what to do first. I was in this situation not so long ago, and the first thing you really need to do is to understand which score you need to get. Because sometimes I hear people who say, hey, I'm just going to go and pass TOEFL and see how it goes and how much I score, and maybe then I would decide whether I could go to an American university, or maybe my score would be that low that it wouldn't be worth trying. And this is a totally bad approach. So what I did, I had a list of universities that I needed to get into. I actually had an Excel spreadsheet that had like a name of the university, link to the program that I like. One of the things about the university was the TOEFL score that they needed, because every single university has its own criteria. For example, Ivy League universities would ask you to have TOEFL of 106, and if you get 105, they wouldn't accept you because this is a pretty, this is a score that they need, and they wouldn't go for less. And this is because the universities are really competitive. But there are also other universities that would tell you, hey, if you don't have TOEFL, please, just take our internal test or attend our pathway program. And a pathway program is a program that allows you to go into foreign university without passing TOEFL. And maybe you would be better off taking a 2-month pathway program course and not just taking TOEFL. So really, you need to explore your options and make sure you really need to pass TOEFL, and here's the score that you need to get. Because otherwise the preparation process wouldn't be motivated by anything. It would be just motivated by the sake of passing TOEFL, and this doesn't really motivate you. And TOEFL is not a free thing. You would have to pay around $185. Sorry guys, I don't remember how much it costs, but you can check it out on ets.org. This is a very useful website. It also tells you not only how much TOEFL costs, but also where's the nearest location that you can pass TOEFL. So please make sure you do that. And so going through all of that experience, like passing TOEFL, going to the testing center, sitting there for 3 hours, really intense, talking to a computer. This is all really stressful. I don't want you guys to take it 2 or 3 times. So just take your time to prepare, take 3 practice tests before you go, and make sure you're reaching the level that you need. Because as I said, if you're targeting for high-level universities and if you score 1 point less that they need, they would just tell you, sorry, goodbye. So you don't want that to happen, right? The second thing you will need to do is to make sure your English is appropriate for getting the score that you need. So for example, say you need 90 to score 90 on TOEFL to get into the university of your dreams, and it's not really easy to find a TOEFL practice test online because, TOEFL consists of reading, listening, speaking, and essay. And when reading and listening can be checked online, speaking and writing, they can be checked online. You have to pay somebody to check what you've spoke, or what you've told, or what you've written. So just make sure your level is appropriate. So TOEFL of 80 to 100 is something around intermediate, upper intermediate. And so if you're unsure what level of English you have, I'm going to leave a link to a website where you can just pass an English language test, and in the end it has like 30 questions, so it wouldn't take a lot of your time. And in the end it would tell you how much you would be able to score on TOEFL. So this is really just to give you an idea. This doesn't guarantee you will get the same results on TOEFL, but just TOEFL is a test that tests your language. This is the first purpose of it. And the second purpose is to test how much you have prepared for TOEFL, because basically the things you would need to do are very special for TOEFL, like, speaking, when you have to think for 15 seconds and then speak for 60 seconds on a topic you would never discuss with anybody in your life. This is a really TOEFL situation. This is not a life situation. So the first thing you need to do Sorry, this is the second thing. So you need to go online and take that test and see what's your level like, and maybe you would need more preparation in terms of general English. So maybe you would need more vocabulary, more grammar, more listening practice. Maybe you should go abroad for a couple of weeks, and it should be an I would say American country like USA or Canada, because TOEFL is an American test. They would talk to you in TOEFL with an American accent, and you're kind of supposed to speak with an American accent as well. I don't know if it's a requirement, but I had a very strong British accent, and for TOEFL I retrained myself in order to speak with a slight American accent, because I knew that people who would be checking my speaking part would be Americans. And these guys, I think it helped. Well, I scored 30 out of 30, you know that if you watch the video, so I think this is something useful. And of course, I have been abroad a couple of times. I've been to the States 2 times before I went to, before I started to prepare for TOEFL, because you really need to be in the environment in order to be able to understand people and, you know, talk to them and develop a proper accent. So once you took the test and maybe you've seen that your level is, I don't know, pre-intermediate or upper elementary, which is not really what you need for university, you would need to sit down and maybe hire a tutor for yourself just to have a higher level of English. You can actually watch my video where I tell how to learn English and the methods that I've used, because a lot of progress that I've achieved was thanks to the work I've done myself, because I studied in Russia and we had a Russian teacher who taught us English, and I did a lot myself in order to be able to learn the real English that Americans or British people speak. So if your level is something around, as I said, like pre-intermediate, maybe it's worthwhile taking classes at your home country or going abroad or hiring a Skype tutor. So do whatever you want, but make sure your level is appropriate before you start preparation for TOEFL, because otherwise, if you go and prepare for TOEFL with a low level, you would be disappointed. You would see the results that are really low and you would be discouraged, and this doesn't work, because motivation, guys, is the most important thing. And when you see the things are going well, you would be more motivated to achieve more and more. The fourth thing, you have to decide how much time you're going to spend preparing for TOEFL. So my story, I had 10 days, really, because I was preparing for GMAT and I thought, okay, TOEFL is so much easier than GMAT. Yeah, by the way, if you're taking SATs, GRE, or GMAT, leave TOEFL for, you know, last 10 days that you have, because TOEFL will be so much easier than these exams. So yeah, it only took me 10 days to prepare, because I had an advanced level of English, and the only things I needed to do were you know, just looking at the test and understanding the tasks and understanding how it's all structured, so it wouldn't be a surprise for me when I come to the testing room. And if you guys have been learning English for quite a while, you've probably done all of the tasks that TOEFL offers you to do, except for speaking, because it's totally, you know, but if you watch the video, you know how it all looks, and if you've been preparing already. So if you have limited time, I would advise, like for me it was 10 days and I spent 6 to 8 hours every day. Maybe it would be different for you, but I would say no less than 2 weeks. Well, 10 days was really severe, I would say, and it was also Christmas and New Year's time in Russia, and wasn't really the best time to get ready for an exam, but yeah, I didn't have a choice. Thing number 5. Many people just go online and download all the books that they can see, like this book on TOEFL, this book on TOEFL speaking, this book on TOEFL listening. You don't really need that, guys. As I said, the key to passing TOEFL is having a good level of English appropriate for the score that you need to get. And the second is just sitting down and taking, you know, TOEFL practice tests, and you would be good enough with just one book. So I used Cracking the TOEFL. I would find it and give you a link below, so if you would be interested, you could just buy it and download it, and it has everything that you need. It has practice tests, it has a lot of like reading section would have 8 practice tests, speaking section would have 8 practice tests, so you can just sit down and do the tasks one by one. And another thing I would strongly advise you to download is it's called Kaplan TOEFL Preparation, but it's a program, it's an exe file for your PC or for Mac, and it's actually a simulation of TOEFL, and this is very good for speaking part because it also has this countdown and it looks like the actual test, and it's really good if you're nervous, because then we would have the real test and you would have some time to sit down before your test and actually take it at your home, and the UI, UX, everything will be the same as in real TOEFL. So I really advise you to download it. I'll try to find the link, but I don't remember where I got it, but you'll see. If I find it, I will leave it below as well. So once you figured out that your level of English is good, you have the list of universities, or you have the exact score that you need to get, you have this book, Cracking the TOEFL. Now it's the time to actually sit down and take that practice test and see which parts are the hardest for you. So I took my first practice test and I was so discouraged because everything was not perfect at all. It was really average, and my reading part was really bad, and my speaking part was like the worst, because when I first took it I thought, wow, I would never ever be able to do that. So I decided to start with the most difficult part for me, and this is actually the best strategy. So once you do the practice test, you will have the answers, you will have percentile that you're in for every section, and start with the hardest one. So what I did 8 reading sections one by one. I sat down and I just did them, because reading, as I said, if you have enough English, it would just be easy to do the tasks, but you need to get used to them. So I did 8 reading sections, then I did 8 speaking sections, and yeah, just after that I was, pretty sure that I would be fine during TOEFL. Thing number 7, have somebody who could check your essays and check your speaking part. I can advise a teacher that I've used who checked my essays and who actually helped me with the speaking part a lot. His name is Jonathan. He's from California and he trains people for TOEFL. So I'll leave the link below as well. I think all the links below would be like, wow, a lot. But I hope this will be useful, guys. Another advice is do TOEFL 2 to 3 times before you do the actual test. So maybe even before you schedule it. I don't know how it looks in your country, but for us, there was a really big line, so I had to kind of set the date for TOEFL. And a week before that, I did 3 different tests, so 3 TOEFLs, and it just gave me the feeling of reassurance that I'm able to sit through the exam for 3 hours. I'm able to, process without food, which is really difficult for me somehow. So just a couple of last advice. Take some chocolate with you, take some water, and I'm so happy, guys, you watched this video up to the very end, so I'm going to give you a life hack. So the life hack is, during TOEFL, you would have reading part, listening part, and then you would have a break. So make sure you don't come back first from the break. I was coming back to the class and I was 5th, and there were other people who already started their speaking part. And for me, in speaking, the first and second questions were the toughest, because they ask you some weird questions about like why you don't like rock music. I never talk about this. So, and because I came 5th, I was able to hear 4 people who are already passing the test, and the test is all the same for everyone. And I already knew the questions because they were answering them, and I was like, oh great, here's the question. So I just sat back, wrote the question down, wrote my answer, and then I launched the speaking part. So yeah, I hope it's legal to give this advice, but this is how it worked for me. And so guys, I'm really happy you watched this up to the very end. Please share with me why you're passing TOEFL. It's really interesting, because if you're getting into some universities, I would be able to give you some advice, maybe make a separate video. So please tell me why you're passing TOEFL, how much you need to score, and where you're getting with it. Thank you so much again. Subscribe to my channel and let's be in touch. Good luck with your exams. Bye bye.